How's it going, guys? Welcome once again to Gaming Gent. We are going to do a best commanders guide. I'm gonna try to make it short, although I don't think I'll do too much of a good job there because it's really complicated. Like, not really that complicated, but everything needs an explanation for new guys, for intermediate guys, and advanced guys. So let's just start. What you need to know about commanders is that you have, for starters, we have the licensed ones, which are, Tyrion, Cersei, Theon Greyjoy, whatever, and then we have regular guys that are not regular, but they are fictitious. They're just made for the game, which are maybe Chris, Gorel, which is a Wildling, Shayla, Soren, which is from House Bolton, etc. They are made for the game only. They're not really characters from the actual story, but they are inserted nicely through the lore that you can read when you click on them. All right. So you start the game with Chris.
So many secrets still lie buried.
And her sister, which is Shayla, which used to be called Shira, and Chris used to be called Osman. So you start with those two, they give them to you, and then when you start doing the elite weirwood, you're gonna start unlocking the other guys. Some of them licensed as Rob and Sansa, you get them right away, and then you, through the 7-day quest, you can get Arya and some of the other ones. So what you need to know first is that there are some that you can get free to play, and there are some that you have to pay for. And the ones that are paid have tiers. There is the cheapest, which is Melisandre, which you get by spending like $1, and you can get it right away. And then you have 2 tiers, which are the reasonable tier and the retarded tier. The reasonable tier are characters like Theon Greyjoy that you get just by spending $5. Okay, so with $5 you get 10 medals, which is enough to unlock a commander. And in that tier, you can find Theon Greyjoy, you can find Kevin, you can find, hold on, let me show them to you right here. Kevin, Raymond, Miranda, and Theon Greyjoy. You can get those by spending just $5 to get the first tier of the first version of them. And then you can keep on paying if you want to upgrade their quality. Okay, and then we have the really retarded ones, which are Tyrion Lannister, Cersei, Marjorie, Daenerys, and Jon Snow, which are really. I'm sorry, I forgot Jaime. Jaime is also tier cheap, tier reasonable, but all the other ones are really expensive. There's also, the game started for when everything started. They have this guy here. They had Baelish, and as you can see, it's $100 just to get 6 medals. That means that you need to spend $200 to get just the basic version of Baelish. And Baelish was not that great, so it was kind of a joke, I think, but we soon found that it was no joke. They intended this all the way. GT Arcade and Jusu and whatever company is making this game, they are gonna milk us, and they've been milking us successfully for these characters because they are really good. And I mean, Baelish was not that great, but when you start seeing, they're not here right now, they'll refresh later, but when you see characters like Marjorie or Cersei or etc., you'll see that they are really expensive. You have to spend, I think you need, like, I was doing the math earlier, but it's around the thousands. It's really expensive. So let's keep it simple. Oh, and there's another one. There are 2 exceptions to this rules of the paid ones. First one is Melisandre, which we already spoke about. The cheapest one, really good for weirwood, a really nice overall addition to your commanders. I advise you to get her because she's really cheap. And then there is another guy, which is this little guy here, which is he's not really a pay to win per se, because you can get them from the events, but you have to get so high, and you have to be the first of the server on the ranking. You have to be the first one. So that implies that you probably spent money on it. So there, but it's kind of the rarest. It's cool to have him if you spend it. It's also cool to have him because it means you're a smart spender. But if you're free to play and you got him, then you are really a smart dude, because he is really hard to get. When you go to the elite level, events, you'll see him right on the top, and it's about 600k that you have to get him. He's not always up. It's like about 3 to 6 hours. You find that his medals will be here, and you get like 2 or 3 per time, so it's really hard to get him. So he's kind of a special guy because he's also special in the show, so that's cool. But that's about it. That's kind of the tiers that there is to it. And then for the free to play ones, there are the harder ones to get, which start with Gorel, which is the first one that you should unlock and get to green as soon as possible, because he's great at every single thing that you do in the game. But then you start getting guys like Russell, etc. And then you have these two, which are kind of the harder to get because they are further on the weirwood line, and you need to be more powerful to farm them. So you got Cabras, which is the only AoE standard that we have in the game available for us, and it's an extra stun, so it's good for weirwood. And Haley, which is a huge tank with good passives, and it's also cool, but it's really hard because it's like 7. I think it's 718.
The veil belongs to us.
618. So she's really hard to get. So that's it. Okay. So parts of the commander. What you need to understand: you have quality. You have I don't know what the name of this is, but it's like the rarity or level of it. And then you have the overall level, which is just leveling up. By quality, we mean medals. You need 10 medals to unlock, 20 to get to green level, as you can see here. And then you need 50 to get her to blue, 100 to get her to purple, and 150 to get her to gold. You can see that in Gorel. In Chris.
My father's blood.
With Chris is given to you, and every time that you finish a story chapter, you get 20 medals, so it's easy to see purple creases or even gold ones, because you get so far by doing that it's easy to finish them. And the implications of this is that every skill that they have these little dots that you can see here, and as you improve the quality, you will get the same buff, but it will be better. For example, if you go here, he starts with the infantry health increased by 1.5 on his vanilla. When you get him to green, it's 3%, blue 6%, and right now I have him on 12%, as you can see right there. When I get the 118 that I need for this guy, I'm gonna be enjoying a 30% increase on my infantry health. So quality is that's about quality. You improve the percentages or the bonuses that you get, but you also get a really nice boost on your prowess, command, and strategy, which are the basic stats of the game. Then you have this part right here, which is also important. I believe it's rarity. I just call it rarity, whatever. And you start at level 1, and when you increase this, you will have two effects. One will be that you will be able to get more soldiers, meaning that every commander has a guard or people that fights with them. Some of them are archers, some of them are cavalry, infantry, etc. And as you improve this, they will have more people with them, so they'll be more powerful. So that's the one thing. But the second thing, and I'm going to show you maybe a little one that I could have right here. Hold on. And let's show you this guy. Oh, this is level 6. Oh.
There are no cowards among the Moon Brothers.
Let him speak.
May the 7 be with you.
Okay, so when you start with him, you start right here, and when you see your skills, you see that they are all locked. So you start with the army tactic, which is bull crap. But that's where you start with. When you get into level 2, you unlock this one. When you get into level 4, you unlock this one. And you get into level 6, you unlock the final passive. Okay, so that's also important because you will also unlock his commander or guard skills, which are skills that you will use in battle. Okay, so that's really important. You need to get them high as soon as you can. For example, I don't really use this guy, but I did improve his quality because some of the passives are gonna be better later on. Right now I'm not using them, so it's not really important. I think I just increased his rarity because I was farming for items, which are these ones that you get here. You get to farm them from the weirwood. So get them as soon as you can and try to improve. Do not go on every single character because you will run out of time and you will run out of items. Specify on around 6 to 10 and no more than that, and you'll be fine. Alright? So once you get these things unlocked, some characters will become better, like significantly better. And a good example will be Shayla. Shayla, or Sheila, I don't know what's how to call her in English. Where is she? Oh shit, can't find her. Okay, here it is. Sheila, when she gets to her 6th level,
They wanted me to be a lady.
she unlocks competitive spirit, which gives 1566 attack to everyone. So of course she becomes a much better character. While Sansa, for example, only gets recovery, and that's not really that good. So Sansa kind of falls off when she gets to 6 because the other commanders become better and better and better. Okay, so that's the one thing that you need to know. And finally, you got the regular level, which is increased by just using her, or you can feed her food and crabs so you can get her up. That's important also because you need some equipment that you are wearing. For example, right here, you won't be able to put on her or to try to level her because she's not she doesn't have enough level. And that is also tied, as we already spoke, to your commander level. At level 17, the game starts blocking you from getting even higher if your commander level, if your account level, your lord level is not higher. So for example, my account is level 54, it just turned 54, and no matter how much things or how much things I do or how much I feed this guy's food, he won't go up to 55 because I am not 55. So at level 17, that's a common question, so I just took this chance to give that little advice for new players. Okay, so what do we need and what's good? And the other really important tip, which I already spoke, but I'm gonna have to repeat it, is that passives are passives on commanders. They as soon as you unlock them, they are active all the time. Most people ask, where do I have to put Melisandre, for example, to get this 25% or whatever percent construction bonus? You don't have to put it anywhere. You just have to have her. The way that you unlock it is by increasing his rarity, for example, and his quality. That's the way that you improve, and they are passives. So you don't really need to put her anywhere. Some people thought that you have to name her Lord, or you have to put her on the wall maybe to get the passives. No, you don't have to do anything. You just have to have them. That's why getting this guy to blue will be sometime useful when I need it.
Are merciful.
Because right now I don't need to have more gold production, but later on I'm gonna need this infantry defense and attack. I will need it, but right now I'm focusing on the other guys, so he's just a little down the line. Same for Varys, which is also a very cool character, but
power resides where men believe it resides.
I have to shut up because the volume of the game is just ridiculously high. Okay, so in this case I already have these two. I don't really need fortifications right now, but these two I do use, so I upgrade them. Okay, so what do we need commanders for? We need them for defense of the city when you put them on the wall. We need it for all attack purposes and defense purposes. You will use their skills every time. Or automatically, where you attack, for example, they will defend you on the wall. But you also need them for the weirwood, and you need them for the training grounds, as well as the expeditions outside of the game. You can also use them for gathering, but I don't really recommend it because you will be vulnerable to attacks. So if you're gonna do that, just use crappy ones, just because they bring more soldiers in. Okay? So when we start asking about what are the best commanders, we actually are thinking about these two things, which is pretty much the training ground, which is of course one of the most important things because it's the best way to get diamonds in the game, and the weirwood because that's the way that you improve. Okay, so the training grounds, I will just try to make it shorter. If you're a free-to-play guy, this is your configuration. This is all that you need. If you're starting, you'll probably do this. Okay? You're gonna use Sansa because Sansa heals and she is also really easy to level up. She's like made for you. Okay? When you get them to level 6 and unlock that last passive, then like we said, she will become better. Okay?
Target practice.
So in the first line, you will always have your tanks. Guys that can stun, that can CC, and can take a lot of damage, while you put your damage dealers on the back. Special mention for Arya, which is she has a shitload of crit, and crit in this game is pretty much broken. So level her up. She's awesome. She will sometimes one shot, and she also has a passive that gives her more and more crit as people die. So she's like really good. But this is your free-to-play configuration. There's no really need to get any other of these. Even if you have Melisandre, unless you have her really high, you just spend a lot of money on her. This is pretty much what you're gonna use. You don't need that, and this is enough to get you to at least the top 100. And you should. I have managed to be on the top 50 for ever since the game launched. So it's really important that you understand this. When you do training grounds, you need to know the weaknesses. For example, if you were to fight Chris, which is infantry, you will need a horseman to do so. So Rob would be a good option. And the same, the triangle. So I'm not gonna spend time on that. But take a look at the weaknesses and the pretty common triangle. And for defense, my one advice I will give you is always leave Arya should always be behind a horseman. Why is that? Because they will try to attack Rob or whoever horseman that you have, or cavalry guy that you have. They will do lancers against them because they're weak against them. And guess what? Infantry trumps lancers. So that's a good way to have a hard line for you to defend. If you don't do that, you'll fall off really quick. Alright, so let's since we already know this, and probably most of you would have melee, I wouldn't advise you to put her here because there's no difference. Then you will probably unlock Russell, and then eventually you'll unlock Haley. And these two are kind of cool, and you can use them situationally. Maybe if somebody has two cavalries, then you probably need 2 lancers, or if they have 2 infantries, you will need 2 cavalries. So sometimes it will be useful to have them right there. But I will advise you to get on with these commanders and just stick with it. Now, for paying commanders, we already spoke about the 2 tiers. You have the retarded tier, which is, I'm not going to give you advice on that because it's pretty obvious. They're really powerful with really good passives. So if you spend money like this guy right here, which is Franklin, how much money did this guy spend? It's like thousands and thousands of bucks that were spent to get this one to gold. That's 330 medals. It's a lot. But we're gonna just leave it at that, and we're gonna talk about the non-retarded ones, the reasonable ones. My advice to you is this order. First, get melee, at least one, because she's good. She has a good passive. Just get her. And then you have 3 options that I will advise you to get always. The first one will be Theon Greyjoy. Theon Greyjoy will go and probably take either Soren's place or Shayla's place, because he's the greatest DPS that we have right now in the game. He's an archer, he hits everyone, he has cumulative damage, he's just really good DPS. So go ahead and get him. He's only $5, we already showed you where you can get him, so that one you need to get. And then for tanks, you will need to get Kevin. Kevin is an improved version of Robb Stark. He stuns, he has a shitload of HP, he does pretty decent damage, so go ahead and get him. He's really good. And it's like a better version of Robb. Then if you wanted to keep spending, maybe I should advise you to get on the non-retarded tier to get Jaime. Jaime is also good because Jaime Lannister. He does a very nice job of stacking his attack on you and reducing your damage and etc. So he's pretty good. But I wouldn't go that far. Any more than that, then you will be kind of going over the top by getting more commanders. Now, remember, we spoke about the passives. So, of course, if you have money to spend, go ahead and get the other ones. Let me show you. Why? Because, for example, if you get this girl right here, Miranda sucks for pretty much everything, but her passives will make your spearman really good. So, if you have the money, go ahead and get her. But this is not really a necessity. When these three guys that I am talking to you about, Theon Greyjoy, Jaime, and Kevin, will be good for you not only for their passives, but they will be great for you on the training grounds, on the weirwood, and also outside. So go ahead and get those. That's it. I could speak a lot on this because I just made the Spanish video and it was like 50 minutes. But I don't want to do that. I'm just gonna stick to what I could take away from that. And then the last one is the weirwood. And then the weirwood, some of them will be more useful. Remember that if you have more stuns, you will be able to get harder content out. So if you're free to play, try to get Cabras. Cabras will be really good for you, maybe to try to get Haley really hard, or maybe if the boss is one-shotting you, maybe keeping him on a stun lock will be really good. And sometimes these three guys, which is your front line, won't be enough. So having an extra stun will be helpful. So I advise you to get at least one version of Cabras. And then Haley, which I haven't had the time to test properly yet because I'm short on food and I have to get her up. Haley is also a really good tank, and she also has
belongs to us.
And she also has really good passives. So it's also a very good idea to get her. So weirwood is pretty much the same. If you want me to make a weirwood only video, just let me know in the comments, and we'll work on that. So that's it. And last but not least, there's expedition. And for expedition, this is what I'm gonna try to show you. Let's find. I don't think I have. Oh, I don't think I have enough. Yeah, I have. Okay. So in this case, we're gonna do archers. If you're doing archers, this is the way that they attack. All 6 commanders will go through one target, and that target will have a shitload of HP. HP, I'm sorry, and he start like one-shotting your guys because they're really powerful. So what you want to do is you want to get your tanks up here in the front line, here and here, because he will attack first this guy, this position, no matter who's here, and then he'll attack this guy. Okay, so what will happen is that sometimes you, for example,
The war has already begun.
And probably here.
I'm Lord of
Okay?
Winterfell while my father is away.
And after you finish, try to watch the video and see what happens. If this guy is killing him before she heals her, and then he'll probably kill him before he heals her. So what you need to do, if that happens, is put your best one right here. Let him die, take some damage and die, And then when Chris is engaging, he will be able to get healed by Sansa. So that's another option that you would have. The best DPS should be right here because he will be on the front line and attacking right very, very fast. And Sansa should always be right here. Sometimes you could put her here. If you see that this guy is enough, then you can remove Chris and put some other guys. Okay, but these guys, I mean, in the previous example, this is always the same.
Justice.
The tank is always here. Second tank here. If he's still dying, just switch them, and then Sansa. All of these are DPSs. Okay, this is I had just anyone there, but if you want to just full DPS, you go like this. Okay, but here some commanders which are not really good on other parts are really good here. You can find Merrill Peak here, and you can find Arslan. Both of those guys are really, really good because they do a lot of damage. So that's what you want. You want your tank surviving and everyone else beating the shit out of the horseman. Okay, so that's a quick way to see it. So to sum it up, tanks go here, healer, and all of them will be DPSs. If this is enough, then you remove this guy. You move Sansa, and then you put another DPS, whoever. I'm just going to put anyone.
Now,
but
my clan will respect me.
You'll get more damage that way. So that's, of course, if you want to get them down as soon as possible. If you're just going for the XP, then just put whatever you want in there, which is what I had at the beginning. I just wanted to level them. Remember that expeditions are really helpful for you. They will give you excellent items. They will let you make equipment, but they will also give you a lot of XP, not only for your commander, for your lord, but also for your commanders. For example, I just finished a level 4 one, and he actually gives me a shitload of experience, so go ahead. Alright guys, I just wanted to keep it as short as I could. Of course, for that, if you have Theon, if you have Kevin, life is going to be a lot easier on you, and expeditions will be easier, and the weirwood will be easier. So that's up to you. If you want to spend money on the game, that's fine. But that's I wanted to kind of sum it up and what are the best commanders that you can get and where to stop. And if you want to get retarded and get the cool ones and the $1,000 ones, that's up to you. I'm nobody to judge you. So if you have, enjoy them and have a great time. I will see you on the next one. Please leave a like, subscribe. That's free stuff that you could do for me so I could help. I did speak with GT Arcade people, but they just wanted to help other people, so whatever. I'm just gonna do my content, which is what I like. I'm working on Air Infinite, Ascent Infinite Realm, Air for short, which is an upcoming MMO. It looks really good. I think I'm gonna do some content on that. Let me know if it interests you. And that's it, guys. Have a great one. I'll see you on the next one. Leave a like, subscribe, all the good stuff. Have a great one. Yeah.